Alright, hey everybody, this is Mike Gibbons, Chapter 4 and 5, Screencast Automatic Reflection. My name is Kevin Straub, and here's my little PowerPoint that I made for it. So here we go. Chapter 4's title is From Speaking to Writing in the Classroom and the content classroom. Using the mode of continuum, for me, it was probably the biggest aspect of this chapter. It talks about the 4 phases of this continuum, starting from face-to-face context to group talking, to written context, writing it down in a kind of academic language, and then using the last stage is using no reference from um, the language context you're using, referring to things academically using only technical terms and academic terms. The differences between spoken and written language can be understood as a continuum that starts with contextual language to more dense, abstract, and more academic written language. Literature talks serve as a bridge between activity-related talk and more formal written registers of learning. So there's other major points of the chapter that I kind of want to briefly go over. So the first one was talking about literature talks, spoken language that makes explicit the ideas of the speaker in ways that takes account of the needs of listeners who may not have shared the experiences of the speaker. So it's a nice little bridge to literacy. It's a bridge using conversation and connecting ideas and sharing ideas with one another. Academic language is better understood when built upon relevant knowledge and experience. So example like hands-on activities, group work, being involved in the actual content of what you're learning. And then last one I'll go over is the teacher-guided report provides a context for explicit scaffolding of academic language. So chapter 5 is titled Learning to Write in a Second Language and Culture. It's a super long chapter. It's like 40 pages long. Overall, it first talks about how the demands of high level of sophistication with English language have dramatically increased since the 21st century. So from the beginning of the 1900s, there was a lot of children working in factories or even just students working in very low-level jobs that didn't really need high English content, language functions. But now in the 21st century, with all the technical aspects of jobs nowadays, they really do need a high level of sophistication with English. So it talks about different genres, so different forms of literacy, writing poems, plays, novels, and discuss how every genre is a different culture and has a different social purpose, overall structure, connections, conjunctions to organize ideas, in particular language and vocabulary, each associated with each distinct genre. Genres at school it talks about, so narratives and argumentative genres. It goes into a little more depth of that, but those are the 2 biggest genres at school. And then it talks about explicit learning and the learning cycle. So using student-teacher relationship to build explicit learning. So the first stage is building the field, so the topic. Second is modeling the genre, so becoming familiar with it with you and your students. The third is joint construction, so teacher and student writing together, helping one another out to build our language function. And then fourth is independent writing, so having the students then, after all those steps, writing on their own. So the last portion of chapter 5 I kind of want to go over just briefly is just additional scaffolding that they give us to help young English learners. So like picture sequencing, writing frameworks, story maps, just visuals, even using their mother tongue as well really helps them build a bridge between their mother language and English language. So that's pretty much overall the chapters 4 and 5. I think there's the end. I went over 3 minutes. It's really hard to get under 3 minutes. But thank you guys for listening and have a good day.